everybody, Sims, and we are back with more Code Realize Future Blessings. And in the last part, we finished the Lupin's gang route, and now we're finally getting into the routes where we have fucking choices. Although Lupin's gang was really, in the very beginning, I was like, oh, I'm just so tired of not having choices. And then we got to see them in their mafia costumes, and I was like, and we're good again. Because as long as I get to oogle them dressed like this, I'm happy. And it's amazing how changing the sprites and just slapping on some sexy suits on them made Spacey feel a lot better about not having fucking choices. I'm good. But now we're going to start, we're doing Sherlock Holmes's route. Because I just feel like doing Finis last is good for when we eventually transition to the third game when it is released. Obviously, it's going to be a while before that comes out, but if anybody's watching this in the way future, where you watch the first game and then you watch this one, and we're already playing or have played the third one, it's going to be a nice transition. For everyone else, you're going to have to rewatch, and at least rewatch Finis's route. So that'll be interesting. But yeah, so we're going to start with Sherlock. I don't know how long these go. There's it looks like there's 5 chapters. And there are 2 bad endings if I'm reading this right. Nope, 3. There are 2 bad endings in the first chapter alone, so we're probably going to get a lot of bad endings in the very beginning, because that's what we do. We do the bad endings before we go down, and then we do the normal end, then we do the good, which, well, here's the confusing part, huh? I'm just looking at this right now. Oh, wow. Okay, so what we're gonna do, okay, this is weird. We'll do the first chapter, there's 2 bad endings, so we'll obviously save when we get the choices. We'll do the bad ending, we'll come back, that's how we do things. There's also a bad ending if you go down the normal route. But what we're going to do is, I guess it doesn't really matter. In chapter 3, there's a choice that leads to a bad end. We'll do that. But it looks like for the normal end, you go through chapters 2, 3, 4, and then you get the normal ending. But so chapter 2, the true ending 2, 3, and 4, you have different choices. So each time you get a choice, if you make choice A, you're going down normal. If you make choice B, you go down the true. So there's only, so I guess what we'll do is we'll do all the right answers, go down like we're getting the true ending, till chapter 4. Till that it looks like the last choice in chapter 4 is where we would then hit chapter 5 on the true ending or just end the normal ending, and then what we'll do is go back, skip through everything, do the normal, and then go back. So it's going to be weird, but I just don't want to read through all the bad, like the normal end path, and then skip through the true. So we'll kind of head like we're going down the true ending, do all the right questions until we get to a certain point, stop, go back, skim through to get to the normal ending first, true ending last, because that's what you want. You want the good, happy ending. And the normal ending, Lord knows, somebody always dies. I don't know if that's how it's going to work here, but we'll figure it out. Anyway, begin this story. Yes! Yay! I don't know why I spent 4 minutes explaining to you how we're going to do things, because you guys know by now this is how we do shit. We do the bad endings, we do the normal ending, we do the good ending. That's how we do things. But, anyway. Man does not spend his life in solitude. One need not even ask why. Fathers, mothers, grandfathers, grandmothers, distant ancestors. Not a single being in this world is born without relationships. It's not a concept exclusive to birth. Family, friends, companions, acquaintances. Man cannot exist without relationships, enemies. Indeed, in a sense, it is by means of relationships that man continues to live. And so... Oh, right! I am going to assume that we're talking as Sherlock, but this is the Reichenbach Falls incident where Sherlock Holmes and Moriarty, I remember reading that you kind of learn more about this incident, which was revealed in, spoiler alert if you haven't watched the first game, what are you doing here? Go back and watch the first fucking game, Jesus. just ruined all the endings. What are you doing? Crazy. Anyway. And so, their fear from the brink of death is a thing of beauty. I'm actually feeling like maybe this is actually supposed to be Alistair because he's trying to kill us. You know what? Well, let's just read it kind of normal and then we'll figure it out when we get there. Imagine it if you would. That moment when your life comes to an end. The next time you drift into sleep, you'll never wake again. The fear of losing everything and falling into eternal solitude. A fear you may only experience once in your lifetime. The more relationships one has, the more enriched one's life feels, and all the more frightening that loss becomes. It's as though the fear and despair were of equal weight to the life one had lived. It's a thing of unrivaled beauty. Wouldn't you agree, Detective? Yes, it was. Damn it! It was Alistair the whole time! Ugh! Well, you would think Sholmes' story would start out talking like him, but then when I started reading it, I was like, maybe it's... And I'm not sure... So sorry, we'll go from now. So this is Sholmes now. Okay. I appreciate your opinion on the matter, criminal. Most enlightening. Unfortunately, however, you and I seem to have a bit of a difference in views. Oh? Do you mean to suggest that the emotion one feels at his final moment is not precious? I can't do Alistair's voice anymore. I kind of forget what I did for his voice. No matter how twisted your aesthetic sense, it would be most futile to object to that. That is not what I take issue with. You say that one's fear of death becomes more frightful with their life's enrichment, but he who lived an enriched life would rather draw down the curtain of their life peacefully. Only he who still has things to accomplish fears for the end of his life. He despairs at the sorrowful fact that his own future is unjustly deprived from him. Say, for example, at the hands of a criminal such as yourself. I'm assuming that this is again... I wish they would just tell you! I know they're trying to leave it like, oh, we don't know, but we do know. We know it's Sholmes, and we know it's Moriarty. Please just tell me who's who so I can do the voices right. I'm assuming that if you were listening and had the voices on, you would know who it is, but I don't, so I'd like to know so I can read it in the appropriate voice. That's all I'm saying. I will bring judgment unto you here and now. I'll get his voice down again. I don't know. If you desire the beauty of death, then draw close the curtains with your own death. A pity. And here I thought the two of us could be good friends. That would be impossible, as long as you are a criminal. The detective and the criminal. The cat and the mouse. We are polar opposites, you and I. I'm not sure who that's supposed to be. I think that was Sholmes. Oh, God, so confusing. Very well. It's rather lonesome for it to end this way, but if that is your wish, then this should be entertaining. Let us begin, detective. Let us begin, criminal. Woo! A duel! And that is how I died. But you're sitting right here. Does the case call the detective? Or does the detective call the case? Regardless, it's my belief that a detective and a case are inseparable. Take, for instance, the case in which a man and his fiancée killed out of revenge. Wait, did it say had his fiancée? Oh, had his fiancée. Had his fiancée killed out of revenge. The case concerning treasures that came from India. The case surrounding a legend passed down through a certain clan of a demon dog. The Hound of the Baskervilles? As it should be. That was my first. Actually, no. I mean, A Study in Scarlet was the first Sherlock Holmes story, but The Hound of the Baskervilles was actually the first one I ever read, and it is what cemented my deep, deep love for Sherlock Holmes. And all things Holmesian, or Sherlockian, actually. I fucking love it. I still have the book. I'm actually looking at it right now. It's on one of my floating magic shelves. The actual book that I read back when I was like 11 or 12. God. Damn. Still have that book. Oh. Anyway. I've involved myself in many cases in my time, shining a light on the darkness that lurked behind each. But even out of the case file of But even out of the case file of someone such as myself, an incident from the other day made a strong impression on me. Suppose I were to put a name on it. Right. Let's call it the train robbery incident. Ah! So this is taking place after he meets us on the train. Perfect. Because that's the first time we met him, right? He's like, I'm in love with that beautiful girl. Ah, me? The poisonous one? Oh, but we can't touch him in this one because we didn't cure our poison. That's depressing. The final train departing from London, Waterloo, headed to North Darlington. One might say that it was an unfortunate coincidence for the culprits that I was present at the station that day. I gotta learn how to read. My name is Sherlock Sholmes. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I plan to kidnap the leader of the Special Intelligence Agency Twilight on the very train he rides on. The ones affiliated with such a daring act were a group I quickly became intrigued in upon looking into. That doesn't make... Okay. Alright, we'll just... The thief of the century, Arsène Lupin. The genius engineer, Impey Barbicane. The great hero, Abraham von Helsing. The French nobleman, Saint-Germain. Former imperial court alchemist and bombing terror perpetrator, Victor Frankenstein. And a girl with a mysterious air about her, who called herself Lupin's apprentice. Amidst the ones who had made a name for themselves in each of their fields, our nameless existence stood out prominently. I grew curious and looked into her after the incident, but her identity still eluded me. That's why he's in love with us, because we're a mystery! When I finally learned her name, I was on an entirely different case. Spacey. A girl so pure, it's like she was raised inside a birdcage. Yes, because I'm a bird lady! But she can't possibly be the sheltered daughter of an aristocratic family. Hers are eyes that know of deep solitude. Eyes that have pushed aside and concealed her feelings and desires, deep below a calm surface devoid of ripples. I wonder what sequence of events occurred that led her to accompany Lupin and the others. What must she carry deep within her chest? Perhaps it is my nature as a detective that causes me to wonder. Who can say whether her life and mine will cross paths again? But if I do get the opportunity, I would most certainly like to ask her, why is it that you are so... sad? Lonely? Poisonous? Chapter 1. Yay! Private detective. I'll be your private detective. Detective for money. You're welcome. My steps feel heavy. My heart is still torn asunder. Oh, never mind. That was me. Hold on. Sorry. Yes. I'm sorry. I should know that it's from Cardia's perspective. I'm sorry, Spacey's perspective. Spacey! Because all caps. My steps feel heavy. My heart is still torn asunder. With every step I take, the mansion where I've spent my days with Lupin and the others draws further away. I'm scared. I was afraid. Afraid of how those whom I spent so much time with had discovered my true identity. Of how those kind, gentle people might see me as a monster. It's more heartrending and painful than anything else in the world for me now. So I'm assuming this, so obviously, I don't remember what chapter it is in the original game where all of a sudden she's like, I'm going to go off, and that's usually about the point where you know whose path you're on, because when it's Saint Germain, he's like, oh, come with me, let's go to my mansion, and I'll get stabby with it. Or, as Victory shows up, he's like, what are you doing? Or, you know what I mean? Like, there's that point where they show up, it's a couple chapters before you actually get into their chapter. So I'm assuming that's where this is. Normally, we walk out of the mansion and somebody stops us. Except for when you're on Lupin's path, you leave, and you're like, what the fuck, bitch? You didn't even stop me? And then he shows up and rescues you, but still. And I'll kill you. If you hurt her, I'll kill you. I still love that line. It's amazing. Okay. Okay. So this is probably that point. I've been living alone for so long, with the deadly poisonous gem horologium embedded in my chest, without loving anyone, without touching anyone. I spent my days alone in the mansion, following Father's instructions. But one day my world was turned upside down. by the hands of a single gentleman thief. Brought over to steal London by Lupin and Imbe, I met so many people. Meeting Victor and Van Helsing, day-to-day life spent at St. Germain's mansion, learning so much from everyone. Staring great challenges in the face. Those were dear days spent together with friends for the first time of my life. Oh, this is probably after chapter 8. No, yeah, it's chapter 8 where they go in and she finds out she's a homunculus and then she freaks out. Because that's usually the last thing before you end that chapter and then you go into their path, because that's the chapter where it starts to actually show you whose path you're on. So that's exactly where this is. Got it. You must never know love. You must live in isolation. It's not that I forgot my father's instructions, but before I knew it, something occurred to me. I could spend my time here. This was where I belonged. But, as if to punish me for those thoughts, I was forced with a confrontation. The cruel truth that was revealed at Father's underground lab. What, you don't remember? This place should be more important to you than anywhere else. Even now I can hear my little brother's voice ringing deep in my ear. Oh, sister, that's what I just told you. That's right, you're not human. He thrust at me the truth that I didn't want to know, so that I'm assuming, since this is where we spin off normally and down the person's path, this is where we're spinning off on Sholmes's path, this would be where we would split off on Finis's path, and that's why the third game makes kind of sense. It's not a spin-off. The third game is not a spin-off of, oh, well, now we finished the paths with them, and we've gotten cured of our poison, and now we're going to get married. It's the, oh, you went off with Finis, but I can't stop thinking about you, so I'm going to come. So that's kind of, it's like a spin-off of a spin-off of the game. Confusing, but anyway. He thrust at me the truth that I didn't want to know. You're a monster that was created here. Stop! Nearby pedestrians stare at me with dubious faces as they raise my voice and shake my head. That's when I realize the mansion is already far away. Though it's midnight, I had stepped into the slums where the bustle is the same as it would be if noon. Are you all right, miss? Yes, I'm fine. I'm just feeling a little under the weather. I brace myself, seeing the soldier who called out to me. But he just looks at me and nods in a composed manner. I see, as long as you're well. But ahead is no place for a young lass. You'd be wise to keep away. Can't the same be said for anywhere in the slums? I remember St. Germain explaining it to me when he showed me around the city. This is Whitechapel, one of London's biggest red light districts. That's why you shouldn't be here. Whitechapel, London's largest red light district, with visitors coming and going no matter the time of day. Perhaps unsurprisingly, it's not the safest part of the city, but the government is content to turn a blind eye. Red light district, that's where like, woo, woo, all the sexy shit goes down. This region, popular with the working class, is quietly permitted by the British government and generally free of soldiers. Regardless, raising my head, I can see other British soldiers mixed among the crowd. Even from my limited perspective, I can see 3 or 4 in plain sight. Why is that, I wonder? Well, yes, nowhere here is safe, but we have a bit of a situation on our hands. Or do you mean to tell me you haven't seen all the headlines about Jack the Ripper? Oh, not him again! Jack the Ripper, a ruthless murderer of many women who left his name on the pages of British history. His methods are incredibly gruesome. That is so much funnier when you read it in a voice like that. It's like, wow. He's a serial killer that only targets women. His count exceeds 10 so far, and that's just from the ones we found. The Yard almost captured him once, but he managed to escape. So the captain of the guard and even us soldiers are called out here to Lower Town where we believe he's hiding. That's true, I actually did forget you do run into Jack the Ripper in this, because, you know, yeah. So that's why there's so many soldiers. That would be correct. So I recommend going back home soon and not sticking around here a moment longer. But I don't have a home! I cast my eyes down as the kind soldier returns to his duties. Go back home. But I no longer have anywhere to call home in London. On the other hand, even if I wanted to return to the mansion in Wales, I'm not sure if I can afford the train ticket. I sigh and look up to the sky and feel a single cold drop touch my cheek. Rain? As if in response, the sky's tears gradually fall harder. Aww. I have to find cover. As if driven off by the rain, I begin to walk aimlessly through the streets, shrouded in the foggy rain. Of course, we end up in the sewers. But there are very few places in the slums where one can take shelter from the rain. I walked right into his trap. Okay, great. Like a chased rat, the place where I find refuge is the sewers that run through the underground of the city. Sewage canals, a system of tunnels in the underground of London that spans the sewer system. A gloomy atmosphere and foul smell. It's not exactly the most comfortable place in London. That's just great writing it as it is. Like, with a gloomy smell, it's not really the most comfortable place. But it's just so much funnier when you read it in the tour guide Barbie voice. Oh, God. The tour guide Spacey. Gloomy, stagnant air and a putrid stench surrounds me. Perhaps I might be able to find a better place if I were to look hard enough. But I'm exhausted at this point and opt to sit against a wall and rest. Burying my head between my knees, I listen to the sound of the water. I feel as though I've returned to my old life at the mansion in Wales. If only I didn't desire human contact. If only I just obediently stayed in my house like Father commanded. Then I wouldn't have had to bear such painful emotions. I forget the voice we gave Jack the Ripper, so it's gonna suck, but the life with Lupin and the others was too warm. So much so that it was unfit for the likes of me. What do I do now? I left without telling anyone. I wonder if everyone's worried about me. And in Van Helsing's path, he would come save you. What? I'm just here to save you. Oh, I thought you came to save me because you love me! But this time it's going to be Sholmes. It's going to be hard. Maybe Lupin and the others would still accept me, even if I am a monster. They might forgive me and tell me that I can stay. But that's right! Stay here with us! It should have been you who died instead of Mama! I'm not wrong, but I became so close to her. I thought that I was even able to bond with her. But in the end, Eddie's eyes of hatred began to block out even my single ray of hope. If it was Lupin and the others I heard those words from, that would probably be the end of me. No, I can't go back. I'm about to put my head back down when I begin to hear the metronomic sound of footsteps. Someone's there? Oh. To come here of your own accord, to offer up your prayers. What a devout little lamb. He needs to be a little more twisted and fucked up, but appearing from the darkness is a man who can only be described as eerie. Yeah. An outfit entirely out of place for somewhere like this. A strange mask that hides his expression. And above all else, the scissors that emit a perilous glimmer, striking into me in indescribable fear. You know what's really weird? Okay, can I just point out, we always, circle back to Danganronpa with things, right? Because we do it in Bad Apple Words every time the ding dong bing bong happens. And the bunny, making bunny puns and the bear puns. But can we just point out that in the first Danganronpa, Genocide Jill was like Jack the Ripper? They called him Genocide Jack, but then we found out it was actually Genocide Jill. And she, ripped up boys. Like Jack the Ripper, ripped them up, but it was only guys, right? And did it with scissors, and now Jack the Ripper is ripping up hoes. I'm sorry, he's ripping up prostitutes. I'm sorry, they're trying to make a decent living. Let's not degrade them. Okay. So, in the red light district, but with scissors. I'm just saying. Can we just, I don't know who was like, oh, good idea, we're going to use that. Because I highly doubt they both came up at the same time. I don't know which game came first, but I'm just saying. They share in their shit. Again, I feel like somebody writes an idea that's like, okay, so Jack the Ripper, but uses scissors. Go! And then everybody takes it and is like, I'm going to put it in this game like this. And they put it in the Danganronpa and just like, okay, crazy person that's like an animal, maybe, or a robot or something, but uses animal puns. Go! And then they came up with the crazy rabbit guy, and then they came... But Monokuma. I'm just saying. I mean, I just think they have a pool of people who just come up with random freaking little ideas, and they just pick and choose, and they put them in a game together, and they're like, now we got our game. That would be an amazing way to build a game, right? I'm just gonna pick 10 random fucking things and put them in a game and see what happens. Can someone do that? Japan, get on that shit. because it would be amazing. I bet anything, you'd pick 10 random things that don't go together and they would do it and you'd be like, this is the most amazing fucking game fucking ever. Ever. Crazy! And you'd feel like you're on crack, but it would be amazing. I need this in my life. Oh my god. Guys, I need it. But anyway, I'm just saying. There's a lot of parallels going on here. It's weird. And I probably should have noticed that the first time we played Jack the Ripper, but I wasn't really thinking about it. Maybe I was. Maybe I did mention it and I forgot. See, I can't remember shit that happens. Anyway. The scissors that emit a perilous glimmer, striking into me in indescribable fear. Welcome to my shrine. I welcome you, young lady. Prayer? Shrine? What is this? As I contemplate the intentions of his words, I slowly take steps backwards. I've encountered numerous dangerous situations before. My experience is giving me a clear signal. Oh, we about to make a bad decision and die is what we're gonna do. And this heavy smell, reminiscent of rust, covered all over him, are signs of blood. Oh, you seem to be trembling. But there's no need to be afraid. You do not seem to know of impurity. There's no need to hasten the ritual. There's a proper reason for those who must be purified in the name of God. Listen carefully if you would. Any second now. He makes a small mutter at the back of his throat as he stares at me playfully. How can you tell he's wearing a mask? I don't know. Any second to what? Without letting my eyes off of the masked man, I listen carefully. Blending with the sound of the foul wind that passes through and the trickle of running sewer water. That was undoubtedly the muffled sound of a woman's muffled scream. The muffled sound of a muffled scream! That was overkill, just saying. And the overkill, you know. I didn't mean that to be punny, but what was that? Answer me! What are you doing back there? No, Spacey, just run. Who are you? I'm simply purifying this putrid world. I can't do his voice. I don't know how to do his voice. Anyway. I'm the messenger of the Almighty God, the enforcer of justice. Although the rest of the world seems to call me by the name Jack the Ripper. He's the one that the soldier mentioned earlier. The ruthless killer that only targets women, with at least 10 victims so far. My instincts kick me into motion the second I hear that name. I will save this motherfucking shit. I will save, bitch. We gonna save. Yes, we're gonna save because we're going to make a bad decision. Boop. Okay, we're going to, what are we gonna do? Run as fast as I can. Bad ending! Bad ending number 1. 30 minutes into the game. Can you imagine? This is fucking great. It wouldn't have taken us 30 minutes if I hadn't extrapolated and spoke, you know, but I mean, like, still. Like, you're like, and we're done! And we're gone, okay. There's no time to formulate a plan. Set off by the sheer sense of fear, I whip around to begin running with all my strength. I mean, we're supposed to shoulder tackle him. Come on, you know that's how we do things. Knock him down gives us time to escape. I weave left and right through the dim sewer paths without a single thing to guide me. I simply let my instincts carry me, not even thinking of how or where to escape. I must keep running. I must keep running. Where do you think you're running to? His words echo and bounce off the sewer walls, sending a chill through my ears. He has a point. Where will I run to? Even if I can get away, it's not like I have anywhere to go. These thoughts tangle and bind my legs and... Here we go, and we're dead. Immediately after hearing something fly through the air, an agonizing pain pierces my leg. Collapsed, all I can do is look up at Jack as he slowly comes closer. I apologize for my rough handling, but you have only yourself to blame. To run in a fluster right after I tell you there's no need to purify you yet. You should have no reason to run away if there's nothing to be ashamed of. The eyes behind his mask waver in madness. He stoops down as if to stare into me, and suddenly, the face behind the mask stiffens. Oh, beneath the mask stiffens. What is this? His eyes are drawn to the scissors that pierce my leg. Corroding from the toxin, the blade was melting and crumbling away like cotton candy. My trickling blood created smoke on the sewer floor, creating a widening hole. I see now. How dare you deceive me? Your body can't possibly be one of purity. You are a demon wearing human skin, aren't you? What? No, I'm a homunculus. It's different. Silence! Ah! Behold, your cursed body that defiles and melts away even this consecrated blade. If not a demon or monster, then what are you? Demon? Monster? I wanted badly to deny those words, but I couldn't even force a response. Just as he says, after all, I am a monster that holds a deadly poison. A lifeless existence that was never alive to begin with. Pitiful monster. It is already a sin in itself that you were born into this world. Now, spill every last drop of that cursed blood. I stopped caring about anything anymore. About what will happen to me. Even about the pain from the almost melted blade I was stabbed with. The end. You're welcome! Wouldn't that be the... New game! It's like, did you want to start a new game? Because you suck at this. Also, we might get to the point where we get the second bad ending in this chapter. I love it. There's 3 bad endings and both of them here. Shoulder tackle him and escape. Even if I run, I'm up against a man of unknown abilities. Not to mention, this is his domain. Gathering my thoughts, I take a breath, brace myself, and then... quickly turn and kick off the floor with a hard breath, trying to catch Jack off guard. A game of tag, is it? Splendid. This is more to my liking. He has to get crazier as we go. His voice chases me as I run. We didn't shoulder tackle him, though. It didn't say we did, but anyway. The sounds of 2 pairs of footsteps make a disturbing echo through this closed-off space. Before, when he was teaching me the basics of thievery, Lupin had complimented me on my leg strength. He told me that I have stamina, so I would be able to escape from most people. But he also said this. When running away, I mutter as I clench my fist and slam both feet on the ground like brakes. With the force of my sudden stop, I focus more and more strength into my legs. Always catch your opponent off guard. Gah! As I turn, I ram Jack's body with my shoulder. Oh, there we go. One of the techniques that Van Helsing had taught me was a tackle, putting all of my weight and speed behind it. I begin to run from the scene once more as Jack is sent flying backwards. Now's my chance! I doubt I was able to defeat him with just that, but it should buy me some time. Go Spacey. It's your birthday. Be awesome, Spacey. Learning lots of shit and tackling motherfuckers. Bam! We just tackled that killer. Woo! Now hold his head underwater and drown him. I'm just saying. All I can do is run through the dimly lit sewer as fast as my legs will carry me. To have wandered into the sewer while in a state of shock may not have been my best move. If only I had properly checked my surroundings, I could have at least figured out an escape route. I can only wonder how much time has passed since I began running. I come to a wider area of the sewer and finally let out a breath. If I've run this far, I'm sure that our little game of tag is over. Fuck, man, you just walked. I swing my arm as if to shake off the sound of the scissors I hear next to my ear. But I'm immediately slammed to the floor and the air is knocked out of my lungs. Didn't I tell you? This is my shrine. I know all of the side paths and shortcuts like the back of my hand. To forestall is trivial for me. Ugh! Truly a pity. You could have had God's graces if your body did not know of impurity. But to cast that all away... You go on about God's graces, but aren't you just a killer? You were going to kill me eventually, even if I didn't try to run. Oh, you are a sharper one than I expected, young lady. But as I told you earlier, this isn't murder. It's purification. Yeah. That's how you know they're crazy. How is that any different? Besides, I don't think you have any right to call me a murderer. As if to agitate my fear even further, Jack brings his face closer to mine. His eyes that shine behind the mask are filled with a cloudy red light. What do you mean? Perhaps it's because I've watched closely over so many deaths as of late, but I could tell you've killed as well. Am I wrong, young lady? Hey, it was an accident. The moment I heard those words, my readied arms lose their strength. It would appear I'm correct, and you look as though you wouldn't hurt a fly. If you intend to criticize me as a killer, then shouldn't you atone for your sins as well by paying with your life? The memories of my sin overflow from the corners of my mind because I desired physical contact with others, because I relied on that kindness. The sin of how I killed the kindest person still hangs over me. For the sake of reference, would you tell me how you killed? Was it by stabbing, strangling, perhaps shooting, beating, cutting, burning, bludgeoning, poisoning? Come now, don't you stay quiet on me. Tell me, how did you kill? As the merciless blade, seeped in madness, dances before me, I feel resignation in the back of my head. What reasons do I have to resist? If I'm a soulless monster, then there's no need to fear for my life. If I must atone for my sins, why not just die here and now? However, why is it that I'm so insistent on living? Ah! Before I realize it, my body is already moving on its own. I bite into the edge of my glove and pull it off, and then grab the leg of the man who looked down on me. With his poisonous hand that melts everything. Gah! The hideous sensation of burning fabric, melting flesh and bone. A chill runs through me at the feeling of causing harm to another, and I kick him away. I mean, self-defense. He slams against the wall, his leg horribly burned by my poison, a violent smoke rising from the wound. It hurts! Owie, owie, owie! It hurts, Mummy! No longer did he have an objective. He simply rushes at me, frantically swinging his weapon. How? But by the time I brace myself, a single gunshot tears through the darkness of the underground, tearing away Jack's scissors. It's Sherlock. Give me a fucking break. You know it is. You want to believe it's Van Helsing, but it's not. I wouldn't move if I were you. The next shot won't just be your weapon. Oh, no, it's not! Oh, it's Watson. Guys. Oh, guys. I forgot. We get to see Watson, and he's fucking beautiful. Where's that path in the third game? Because Jesus Christ, they keep adding hot dudes. Oh, you wouldn't happen to be that Jack the Ripper character everyone in the city's talking about, would you? Hi. Fine as fuck. What the hell? Covering your face with such an ugly mask, I see that you really must not have much confidence in your looks. I do, however. I'm just telling you this for your own good. Just hurry up and admit defeat. Stay face down on the floor right there. Who are... Simply a justice-loving passerby. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure this is Watson. Because he's blonde and beautiful, so... Or that's what I'd like to say. Truth is, I'm just a regular town doctor with a habit of chasing after big cases. No thanks to a bad influence of mine. He smiles and cocks his gun as he calmly directs it towards Jack. I suppose solving cases isn't my job, but, well, I'm not sure that catching it in the act quite counts as solving. Alright then, give up, you twisted masked bastard. I'm handing you right over to the yard. God. Look at him! He's so fucking cute! I want to slap him so hard! Ah! Why are you so cute? What is with the chain thing wrapping around? Like, buddy, what is going on with that shit? Oh my god, but he's kind of like suspender fucking shit. Oh, is that your, like, gun holster? God, he's cute. Damn, he's cute. You could be like Van Helsing's little brother, you know that? You could be like... Watson Van Helsing. Seriously, I'm not even kidding. They do this and they throw like Holmes in there. Sholmes, sorry, as a side character, and you're like, oh, he's so cute though. And then you go down his path, and now you got this, and you're like, damn it, we're never gonna stop. Too many cute boys. I'm sorry, I just like looking at him. He's ridiculous. How dare you? How dare you? How dare you? How dare you? For a mere town doctor to impede my grand mission, granted unto me by God? It can't be! Whoa there! Dodging the scissors, the man directs his aim back at Jack. But Jack had already leapt away with his superhuman leg power and glared at us with eyes of deep resentment. Also, he's got half a burnt leg, so he's amazing. He moves in a way that seems wholly incomprehensible with his burned leg. Ah, right, hidden strength, forgot. I won't forget this. I shall never forget this. This pain, this suffering, this wound will one day be compensated with your accursed blood. Hold it right there, you. The sound of the gunshots in succession shakes the stagnant air. It almost looks as though a few shots hit. But by the time the echo of gunshots ends, Jack had already disappeared into the darkness. Did he get away? Shh! That bastard sure can move. As the man who called himself a doctor lowers his gun, he turns to me. Oh, look how beautiful he is, and he's just smirking. He's so cute, guys. Look at him. Oh my God, don't you just want to shake him? He's so fucking adorable. He's all like sexy when it comes up in the CG. You're like, oh, you fine. And then you look at him, you're like, oh, you're so cute. I just want... I'm sorry. This is like a Van Helsing and Victor love child right here is what it is. Because he's got the like purpley fucking eyes. Like goddamn Van Helsing's eyes were a little bit darker purple. His are more purple. But like, you know, he's got the hair. But then he looks like fucking Victor too. I just imagine their love child. This is their love child. He just needs some glasses and yeah. It's like my dads didn't have good eyesight, but I do. Oh, guys. I can't. Anyway. That was quite the mishap, young lady. Are you hurt? I'm fine. I answer unconsciously as I back away. You're not unconscious. Subconsciously. Unconsciously? I'm not thinking. Well, okay, whatever. As I back away. That just sounds weird. Anyway. I don't know who this man is. But even if I am hurt, I can't let him examine my wound. Thanks so much for your help. That was a close one. Don't mention it. No need to thank me. But no matter how good-looking I may be, try not to fall for me, got it? My wife is my one and only, unfortunately. Ah, damn it! No, you're not allowed to have a wife. You are not allowed to have a wife because that is just not allowed. You need to be a path in the finish route. Not in my land, honey. Not in Spacey world. Wifey don't exist. You are... Wait. What, you're like now number 7? You're number 7! Like, hey, we had the 5 boys, and then we got Sholmes in there, so that's 6. He's number 7. He doesn't get a wife. How do I put this? It almost feels like an exchange I had with Lupin the first time I met him. Minus the wife part, yeah. Shaking off the sudden memory, I tell him clearly, don't worry, that won't happen. Oh! All right. A blunt response like that almost feels like a rejection in itself. Anyway, that aside, he slaps his cheeks as if to snap himself out of his apparent sudden discouragement. His expression changes so much that it's almost kind of reassuring to watch him. Yeah, my wife is my one and only. Yeah, I'm not going to fall for you. Oh, I was lying about the wife. Damn it, it usually attracts women better. He seems like the kind of person to give that impression. Besides, come on. A Sholmes and Watson man sandwich? Just, like, nobody else is thinking that now that he showed up and I forgot he was in this, and then we're like, oh, right! Watson, Holmes. Oh, guys. What brings you to a place like this? I must say, if you're here for a stroll, I question your aesthetic taste. Why, you ask? Taking shelter from the rain? Shelter from the rain. Right. What? Shelter from the rain? In the sewers? Sure. I was taking cover from the rain in the sewers. Say, young lady, you shouldn't pull an adult's leg like that. I'm not lying, just... I have nowhere else to... My own lack of planning comes back to haunt me once more, and the end of my words trails off. He stares at me as I fall silent. Neither of us move, and hardly a sound can be heard between us. Soon the man who called himself the town doctor becomes impatient. It certainly doesn't appear that you're joking. I suppose you have some circumstances, then. Duh, come on now. You look like an abandoned puppy with a face like that. Fine, fine, forget it. You can come and stay at my house for now. What? But no need to worry. It's not like I bite. Oh, I bet you do. Besides, like I said, I have my dear wife to return to. She'll act me good if she finds out that I've so much as laid a finger on a young girl. I'm not that. Yup, stop doing that now, game. Okay? We were like, oh, she's probably like 17, 18. That's probably, back in the time. And now it's like, a friend my own age. Like I'm 13. Creepy. No. Dude! What are you, like 20 something? I'm lying. I'm 18, bitches. I'm just gonna lie and say that. I know she's probably supposed to be like 16 because they're always like fucking 16 or 17. All these games. But no, I'm going with 18 this way we're a legal adult. I know it's like ye olde days, back in the day, alternate reality, past thing, and 16 was like, shit, 16 was the new 30 back then. I'm just saying. You were like, I'm gonna die in 10 years. But still, I can't do the whole like she's 13 bullshit. Like they kind of almost insinuated in the Lupin's gang thing. No, honey, no. No, that is, no, I don't care what time period we in, we can't do that. That's creepy as fuck. Spacey's brain can't wrap around that. I'm 13 and Lupin's like 25. Weird! Creepy. Creepy. No. Anyway. Besides, she doesn't come across like that. I mean, I could understand if they were like trying to say she's like 17, but I would have said just like 18. They're usually, well, anywhere between 16 and 18 is where most of the games fall with the heroines. I don't understand why. Why, when they think women are going to play these games, because this is what these are for, that it's like, we're all 16. I don't want to be 16. That sucks. I want to be like 20. That's okay. I can manage that. That's like super young, but still like not 16 and I have to go to high school. Ugh. I mean, unless you're playing a game where you're like, that's the whole point, but games like this where we don't have to go to school. I'll be at least 18, bitches. Just saying. Still, I guess when you're 25 and you're married, you're like a young girl. Yeah. It's just weird, though. I don't know. Right then, and now that that's decided, come along. I'll be damned if I'm taking responsibility if you get lost on the way. Wait. I may never see the light of day again if I'm left behind here. He doesn't give me a moment or a choice, so I hurriedly follow after him. He's a bit forceful, no doubt, but he doesn't seem like a bad person. He's adorable. He's so fucking cute! Look at his pointy little nose. Oh, that's right. I didn't even ask your name. So, young lady, tell me, if you would. Spacey, and you? Me, I'm John H. Watson. Nice to meet you. John H. Watson, an Army veteran and self-proclaimed Muirtown doctor, meets with the heroine after she leaves Lupin and the others and takes her under his wing. He is an older brother type of person with rather macho tendencies. That's not the Watson we all know and love. The Watson we all know and love is just like nice and soft and squishy. It's okay though. He's got to be married, so obviously we're not getting a path for him in some other game somewhere. Fan disc, unless we're like, that's the fourth fan disc is like Spacey ruins people's lives, and like we murdered his wife and we steal him away. Oh, can we do a reverse harem for this game? Like just as a fan disc, where like you're like, oh, I have all 7. You just be like, can you pick? Oh, I want all these guys in my harem. That would be fucking amazing. Everyone in the game is in your harem. Even the queen. Fuck it. Let's just see what happens. Oh my god, I wouldn't even care. They're like, it's really only like an hour long for each. But you're like, I don't care. I just want to see this happen. That would just be fucking amazing, and I would laugh my ass off. I can hear the singing of birds, and so can my bird, because he gets really excited. The bird song that signifies the arrival of morning. I slowly open my eyes, my eyelids gently caressed by the morning's light, and I'm greeted with a scene that I don't recognize. Where am I? I'm still a bit out of it. Yesterday, I ran away from St. Germain's mansion. I ended up wandering the city alone. And then I met Jack in the sewers. Hey there! You awake, young lady? You're, Watson, was it? Where am I? Pardon? Are you still half asleep? Bloody hell. Fine. This is my house, which is also a clinic, as I told you yesterday. I'm a mere doctor, though I may not look it. Well, you did fall asleep as soon as we got here, so I guess it's no surprise that you don't remember. With those words, my thoughts finally catch up to reality. That's right. I was brought here last night after Watson rescued me. Is that his, lab coat on the back of the chair? Nice touch. Or it's a sheet. I don't know, but... Can you drink coffee? I can, but unless his dishes are poison resistant, I'd only end up melting his cup. But I'll pass for now. I appreciate the offer. Suit yourself. I'll leave it here, so drink up whenever you feel like it. You could literally just tip your head back and just pour it down your throat. Steam rises from the coffee, spreading a relaxing aroma throughout the room. Even an everyday thing like that gives me a warm feeling in my chest and calms me down somewhat. I like that they don't forget touches like that. Like, oh, she's drinking coffee, and it's like, she's not melting the cup, though? What? But she can't kiss a guy, but she can drink out of... They never forget little touches. It's good. All right, now that you're awake, we ought to figure out what to do with you. With all that happened, I was fine with letting you stay here, but you really should head back home if you're able. Even if you have your reasons for being away, I'm sure your parents are worried. I'm not that young! Stop it! I don't have parents. Exactly. You don't have parents, so I'm sure they're worried out of their... Excuse me? You don't have any parents? Well, I'll be damned. I really put my foot in my mouth, didn't I? Sorry. That was insensitive of me. No, it's fine. No harm done. Of those I could consider family, Father and Finis are the only two. I mean, okay, so we're figuring she's probably 16, 17, but whatever. But right now, I don't even feel like mentioning him as my father. And if I'm a created existence, even less so. But, what a mess this is. You must have bigger issues than I'd imagined. I'm sorry for causing you trouble. Oh, no, it's nothing you should apologize for. It's just... I can't imagine what Mary would have to say to me. Taking my eyes off Watson, who mumbles to himself, I take a look around. The neat organization of the room is the first thing I notice. If he calls himself a doctor, I suppose it should be no surprise that his living environment is so clean. I suppose they used the Watson that was married version, like the later Watson edition, just purposely so that you weren't like, why is he cute and why can't we romance him? But you made him cute and unromanceable, and that's not fair. There's now no opportunity unless you're going to kill off Mary. I mean, Jesus. And then that's like, that's cold! But, I mean, hey, it could happen. We'll be there for you! Oh, after your wife died, and we're like, second... Well, whatever, you know. And then, my attention is drawn to a single picture that decorates the room. In the picture are 3 people. Oh! So cute! Oh, look at Mary. She's so pretty. I feel bad. One is Watson. Another is a woman, most likely his wife, whom he had mentioned, obviously because she's wearing a wedding dress. And the other is that? Oh, him! He's my close friend. Sherlock Holmes. There isn't a single person in all of London who hasn't heard of the great detective himself. You mean Sherlock Holmes? Sherlock Holmes, London's #1 detective and model of a detective novel written by Watson. Oh, look at him, he's so sweet. Though he's dead now. Watson takes a scrapbook from the bookshelf and passes it to me. Among the well-worn pages are newspaper clippings. And she's like, are you sure? Because I'm pretty sure he's running around named Sherlock Holmes, and that is the worst fake name ever. Your name is Sherlock Holmes. You said Sherlock Holmes, not Sherlock Holmes. He's like, no, but I heard there's some detective running around named Sherlock Holmes. Coincidence, right? And you're like, and he looks exactly the same. Weird. It's like Clark Kent and Superman, how they look almost the same and you never see them at the same time. But like, I mean, I'm serious. Like, put glasses on Superman and wouldn't he look like Clark Kent? It's just baffling. People are dumb. That's all I'm saying. Mr. Holmes, known as the Great Detective, dies in accident at Reichenbach Falls. Authorities believe that he fell from the waterfall during his investigation. His chances of survival are slim. That's fucking Sherlock Holmes. He survives everything. I read the article with a frown, which quickly becomes a look of perplexity as I notice a picture of the man's face. Because the man pictured is the man in the portrait. We're not stupid. I'm not even. Okay, hold on. All right, fine. We'll go back. We know damn well it's Sherlock Holmes. I just love how it makes you do this. It's like, the man pictured. Are we dumb? Do we not remember? We're going to save. We're going to do... He's the man in the portrait. Watson just called him Sherlock Holmes, but for a different person entirely, this man looks too similar. Far too similar to the man I've met before. Isn't this Sholmes? What? His clothing and hair is a bit different, but I'm sure it must be Sherlock Sholmes. I met this person not long ago. This person also calls himself a detective. Is this a joke? I wouldn't joke about this. He looked exactly alike. If you met him, I'm sure you'd agree. Would you mind telling me more about that? Watson suddenly makes a stern expression. I begin to explain, concealing some details of the matter. I'm pretty sure it's not really much different. So we're going to load this. And we're going to go back and we're going to say it's Sherlock Holmes. Sholmes? The name comes out of my mouth naturally. Indeed, I wouldn't mistake him for someone else. I've met this person before. He's the young man who claimed he's a detective and stood before us numerous times. Isn't this Sholmes? What? His clothing and hair is a bit different, but I'm sure it must be Sherlock Sholmes. I met this person not long ago. This person who also calls himself a detective. Is this a joke? I mean, seriously, Sherlock Sholmes. You said, he's like, what? That's right. Oh. I wouldn't joke about this. He looked exactly alike. If you met him, I'm sure you'd agree. I was really wondering when I saw chapter 1 and the choices for like the thing. I was like, why is one of the options Sherlock Sholmes? Like I'm just, duh. This explains why. Would you mind telling me more about that? Watson suddenly makes a stern expression. I begin to explain, concealing some details of the matter, so really not much different at all, but... The first time I spoke with him was inside the train headed to Waterloo. A young detective hiding a sharp intellect beneath a gentle attitude and a polite demeanor. His deductive skills were masterful to the extent that he could twist even Lupin around his finger. Even after that incident, every time he showed up, he'd immediately deduce Lupin's intentions. Lupin's nemesis, an opponent whom we can't let down our guard. That was Sherlock Sholmes, the detective I knew. By the request of the Yard and the military, Sherlock Sholmes. Watson falls deep into thought for a while after my explanation until... Young lady, wait right here for a moment. I'll be right back. He quickly snatches his coat, flings open the door noisily, and darts outside. He's gone. I stand there dumbfounded. To leave someone he doesn't even know at all alone in his house. What would he do if my true identity was that of a cat burglar? I let out a sigh and look over at the picture. This is why you'd be the perfect cat burglar, because people trust you, and you look in and say, I don't understand, I was just running away. And I don't have parents. It's okay, I'll just stay the night, and then, oh, you ran away, and I'm going to steal all your shit. Oh, who's this picture? That's my dead aunt. Are you sure? Because I think I saw this woman the other day. What'd you say her name was? Susan Jones? Oh, that's weird, because I know somebody named Jusan Sones. Fucking weird, right? She looks exactly like this lady. I think she lives 2 blocks over. You should go check it out. Let me steal all your shit while you're gone. Perfect ruse! Spacey will be a better burglar than Arsène Lupin soon. Spacey, I can't believe you ruined my name and made a better name for yourself. I'm offended. I have multiple personalities, and now one of them is Lupin. Great. Swell. I let out a sigh and look over at the picture. The man in the picture who resembles Sholmes is smiling as if embarrassed. He looks so sweet, though. A face that I've never seen before. A side of Sherlock Sholmes that I know nothing about. Now that I think about it, I don't really know much about Sholmes. Full stop. I wonder what kind of life the man who made that smile had lived up to now. What's he doing now, and what is he planning to do? I continue staring at the picture for a while as my curiosity is piqued. Perfect time to stop. So, we have a little bit left in this chapter, obviously, because we have one more choice to make to get to a bad ending, but we are going to stop here for now, and we'll continue in the next part. So I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.